Rosa Parks, Law Reformism of the United States of America, presented by Nisa Bannister. Most historians date the beginning of the modern civil rights movement in the United States to December 1st, 1955, the day when an unknown seamstress in Montgomery, Alabama, refused to give up her bus seat to a white passenger. This woman, Rosa Parks, was arrested and fined for violating a city ordinance, but her act against discrimination began a movement that ended legal segregation in America and has made her an inspiration to people everywhere. Rosa Parks was 42 years old at the time of the bus incident. She sat near the middle of the bus, just behind the 10 seats reserved for whites. Soon all of the seats in the bus were filled. When a white man entered the bus, the driver, following the standard practice of segregation, insisted that all 4 blacks sitting just behind the white section give up their seats so that the man could sit there. Mrs. who was an active member of the local NAACP, which is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, quietly refused to give up her seat. Her action was spontaneous and not planned, although her previous civil rights involvement and strong sense of justice were obvious influences. Rosa Parks stated, "When I made that decision, I knew that I had the strength of my ancestors with me." However, Rosa had to make sacrifices for her actions. She was arrested and convicted of violating the laws of segregation known as the Jim Crow laws. Mrs. Parks appealed her conviction and formally challenged the legality of segregation. Because of Rosa's brave actions, local civil rights activists initiated a boycott of the Montgomery bus system. In cities across the South, segregated bus companies received daily reminders of the inequities of American society. Since African Americans made up about 75% of the riders in Montgomery, the boycott posed a serious economic threat to the company and a social threat to white rule in the city. Martin Luther King Jr. was the leader of the Montgomery Improvement Association. The boycott associated with this group ended up lasting 81 days into December 1956, when the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the segregation law was unconstitutional and Montgomery buses were integrated. The Montgomery bus boycott was the beginning of a revolutionary era of nonviolent mass protests in support of civil rights in the United States, and it all began because of Rosa. In 2004, Rosa was diagnosed with progressive dementia and died the following year on October 24, 2005. 3 days later, after Rosa's death, all of the city buses in Montgomery and Detroit reserved their front seats with black ribbons in her honor. It remained this way until Rosa was put into her final resting place. On the day of Rosa's funeral procession, President George W. Bush ordered all flags in the national capital of the United States public areas, both continental and abroad, to be flown at half-mast. Rosa changed the nation by simply standing up, or in this case, sitting down for what she believed in. Great honor was shown to Rosa Parks by allowing her body to lie in so many prestigious places, giving many people the opportunity to pay their respects to the woman who had done so much to change the future of the American people in her 90 years of life. Without Rosa Parks, it is undeniable not only America, but the world would be very different for African Americans today. Some even go as far to say that Obama, the first American president, would not be in power without Rosa's strong will to reform the law. Rest in peace, Rosa.